Hey, what's going on? I'm Ryan Stewman, President and CEO of Closer Capital, and today I'm going to talk about the 5 biggest lies that are keeping you from borrowing money and keeping you from scaling and expanding quickly. Like, we've all been told a bunch of lies when it comes to business. And I don't think they were intentional lies. It was from people like our parents. Like, for example, my parents both worked a W-2 job their entire life. And so they used to say things like, unless you can get money from a bank, you're never going to be able to grow your business. Unless you can, business ain't all it's cracked up to be. I watched your uncle go out of business when he tried it. And they were people that hadn't experienced what it takes to experience to get the wisdom, and we just took it because maybe they were our parents or a relative or a friend that went to college, and we take their bad advice, which is a lie, basically, for granted. So I'm going to dispel 5 of the biggest lies about borrowing money in credit in business. So number 1, the biggest lie is that you need perfect credit to borrow money. Look, you don't need perfect credit to borrow money for a car. You don't need perfect credit to borrow money for a house. Now, perfect credit helps, but perfect credit is not a requirement. What is a requirement is to not have shit credit, right? Like, if you're currently a deadbeat not paying any of your bills, there is nobody that's going to give you money, right? That's just how, like, if we look and it's like, damn, you ain't even paying the water bill, dog, you're in trouble, That's just how it is. But good credit can be, oh, maybe he's got a 620 credit score, but he hasn't made a late payment on anything for 3 years. He just went through a rough patch 3 years ago. So let me give you a breakdown, okay? 740, so there is 3 different credit bureaus, TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian, and they all run from 400 to 850. So 850 is flawless, perfect credit. If you hear somebody tell you they got over an 850, it's some one-off thing. That the repositories only go to 850. So anything above 740 is considered flawless, perfect. So 740 to 850, perfect credit. 650 to 740 is considered good credit. 680 being ideal in the good credit slot. 600 and below is shit credit. Okay, and I've got other videos on this channel about fixing your credit, because that's a major step. Because, here's one thing about borrowing money, just like a car, a house, or a credit card. You borrow it the first time, you have bad credit or decent credit, not perfect credit. You take a little bit bigger hit on the interest rate, but the payments allow you to get better credit while you're making payments on that. You can always refinance out to a lower interest rate, borrow at a lower interest rate in the future, right? So, lie number 2, you've got to be in business for at least 2 years before you can get a loan from a lender. And that's not true either. The SBA offers loans to startups as high as $250,000. Now, there's a lot of paperwork, business plans, minimum requirements that you got to do, but we do those loans all the time. Up to, depending on what you qualify for, $250,000 from the SBA for a startup. That means 0 days in business. So the SBA does that. You can buy an existing business. That's another way around it. You can go get an SBA 7A loan, plus you can get a working capital loan from us, and then you can go out and buy an existing business that's already been in business for a long time and get more money and a bigger loan from that. And for most of our loans at Closer Capital, you only have to be in business for 12 months. If you need working capital, if you need equipment financing, if you need any of that stuff, then most of our loans are 12 months. We have some besides the SBA startup that are as soon as 6 months. So it's not always a 2 years in business. And where that comes from is when you go borrow money for a mortgage, they want 2 years worth of tax returns, 12 months worth of bank statements. But that is a consumer borrowing a mortgage that's a house, money for a house that's secured by a mortgage-backed security. That's not a business borrowing money with a relationship with the lender. 2 totally different lending scenarios. Lie number 3, business credit cards don't affect your personal credit until you make a late payment. Like, you can go out and get a business credit card, and in the terms, whether it's Chase, Capital One, Spark, doesn't matter who, in the terms it says me, Ryan Stewman, personally guarantees these, which means they may not report on my credit right now. But if I make a late payment, bloop, that son of a bitch is on my personal credit all of a sudden. So be conscious of that. Worst case scenario, you charge the whole card off, and now you've got a judgment on your personal credit. And anytime you go to borrow money anywhere, they're going to want you to pay any judgments off, because the judgment could cut into the cash that you're borrowing. So business credit cards can affect your personal credit. Number four, you need multiple LLCs in order to build credit. A lot of people think you got to go get an LLC and it has to loan money to another LLC, and that's how you build credit. And then this one, that's a fucking Ponzi scheme is what it sounds like, right? It sounds like a shell game, right? No, we want to do this the honest way, build a business, borrow money. One LLC is all we need. Build a business, borrow money, and then pay that money back, get a lower interest rate, borrow more money, pay that money back, get a lower interest rate, borrow more money. That's the cycle of how you partner with a funding partner, a lender, and grow your business. It's not by loaning yourself money and all this little 3-card Monte Las Vegas game that a lot of business owners think they need to play. The last one is that only banks loan money. This is the biggest lie of all, because here's what happens. A person will go to Bank of America, get turned down. They'll go to Chase, get turned down. Wells Fargo, get turned down. The local credit union, get turned down. The local bank, get turned down. Commercial bank, they repeat this cycle, and they think, damn, only banks loan money. But the largest, quickest, fastest growing segment of all financial markets right now is private money. There are millionaires and billionaires out there that pool their money together to loan it to corporations like yours, and it doesn't report to your personal credit, doesn't affect your personal credit. Don't make late payments, but it doesn't affect your personal credit. There's no recourse. It helps build your business credit because you're not loaning to your own LLC. You're actually getting somebody to invest and fund your business to where you're growing and building a relationship with us at Closer Capital because we've done that. And the biggest thing that you got to understand is alternative financing, private money, hard money, even SBA money is way different than the banks. The banks, they don't want anything that's remotely unsafe. Private money will take a bigger risk, bigger interest rate, but bigger risk, and they'll help partner with you and guide you. For example, at Closer Capital, when we give you private money, when we fund you, we put you in Apex, which is our business association. It's filled with vendors, it's filled with entrepreneurs, it's filled with business owners that can go in and help you, guide you. So not only do you get the money, now you've got hundreds of people that you can surround yourself with that'll give you advice on where to spend the money. It'll tell you what the best practices are for your business. That's the difference between a bank who just gives you money and says, F you, pay me, versus a private money lender like Closer Capital. We say, hey, we want to keep paying you. We want to help you grow your business. The more successful you are, the more successful we're going to be as well. So if this resonates with you, if you're looking to borrow money and you realize that these are BS lies and you're ready to make that decision, fund your business, scale it, use that money to make more money, grow to the next level, go to closercap.com/CEO. That's my personal link, so I'll know it came from this video. But go to closercap.com/CEO. And while you're there, you can expedite your process within a matter of minutes and get funded as soon as 3 days. So make sure you go to closercap.com/CEO, and I'll see you on the next video.